engaging the community since 1970. This is WIS Awareness.
Good Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us here on Awareness today. I'm your host, Leland Pender. Well, Family Solutions of the Lowcountry's Infant Mortality Awareness Luncheon is happening in Orangeburg coming up in September. It's a fundraiser for program participant scholarships in the pursuit of higher education. Jennifer Pinckney will be the keynote speaker for this event, and she is, of course, the widow of slain state senator and pastor Clementa Pinckney, who was killed in the Charleston church shooting back in 2015. Joining me this morning with more details about the event is the Director of Family Solutions of the Lowcountry, Mrs. Virginia Berry White. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So let's start with more about what you all do. Who do you serve and what's your mission?
We serve women of childbearing age. And so any woman who has the ability to get pregnant, those are the women that we're serving. Mm-hmm. And one of our missions is really to have a healthy community, starting with women of childbearing age. Mm-hmm. When we're talking about infant mortality, we know that the health of a community is really measured by its infant mortality rate. And so what we are striving to do is to decrease infant mortality, improve women's health, improve infants' health, thereby also helping to improve the health of the community.
And you work in some really just rural, not too heavily populated areas of our state. Orangeburg, I consider the Midlands, but you serve more Lowcountry counties as well.
We do. We serve 5 counties, and many of them are rural communities. So Allendale, Bamberg, Barnwell, Hampton, and Orangeburg. Okay. Yes.
And is this issue more of a problem in that area than other parts of the state? Is that where the concentration is?
Well, I would say that it really affects the whole state, but when it impacts more when it's in the very rural communities, and that's because there are lack of resources, lack of availability to health care, specialty care, and so women are traveling outside of their communities to get care into the larger cities.
And I'd imagine if they're even able to do that, to have transportation to get to those places they need to be at.
Exactly. Yeah. Transportation is a big barrier when it comes to women having to go outside of families, families in general, having to go outside of their area to get care, to go to a grocery store, things that we don't really think about, but those in rural communities really think about access to care and access to healthy foods and different things like that.
So, of course, you serve women of all different ages. Tell us more about this luncheon. It's a scholarship fundraiser, or it's to raise money for scholarships for women seeking higher education.
It is. We have many clients in our program who have the potential to go back to further their education, and we want to give them that opportunity. They're bright, intelligent young ladies, and men we serve as well. And so this luncheon helps us to do just that.
And Jennifer Pinckney, as we mentioned, is the keynote speaker this year. I think we have some photos we can run of previous events as well. But tell me about how you decided you wanted Mrs. Pinckney to come and talk to the community.
Well, each year, and this is our 11th annual Infant Mortality Awareness and Scholarship Luncheon, each year we look at those men or women who have made great strides in their own communities, but have gone through kind of traumatic experiences in getting there. And so in the audience, you will have our program participants who are also going through different crises and stressors of life. And so we thought that Jennifer would be good to come in and share her story and tell us how she's going through those traumatic experiences, and that really gives hope to those that are attending the luncheon.
All right. Let's pop up the details. If people want to attend, it's open to the public, I imagine.
It's open to the public, yes.
How can they get in touch with you to learn more?
Give us a call at the office at 888-581-0319.
Is there a website?
Get ticket information. The website is www.lowcountryhealthystart.com.
Okay, so it's happening September 14th, by the way, 11 o'clock that morning at the Edisto Fork United Methodist Church at 356 Lariat Road in Orangeburg. Again, there's the phone number, and you can also learn more online. Virginia Berry White, Director of Lowcountry Family Solutions, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Take a listen to this.
Did I make a wrong judgment decision? Yes. And to people that I think were truly offended for what different reasons, whether they were Muslim or whether they were citizens that were embarrassed, yes, I was wrong, and I apologize for that.
Irmo Mayor Hardy King apologizing to his community after a posting of a message on Facebook disparaging to people of the Muslim faith. We'll talk about what made him make that post and what he's learned since the backlash he faced because of it.
No matter what size your label says, Men's Warehouse has you covered. It's time to take your style to the next level and create the perfect fit. It's time to like the way you look.
Instead of going to school every morning, what if school could come to you? Because learning happens anywhere and everywhere. K-12-powered schools provide a tuition-free, full-time, online public school education taught by state-certified teachers.
It's public school at home.
K-12's curriculum is designed to engage students, to challenge them. So visit K12.com today. Tuition-free in South Carolina.
In South Carolina, more and more utility lines are buried underground. This congestion presents a serious safety issue for digging projects, whether it's a small job like installing a fence or garden, or a larger one that involves a street or roadway. Buried utility lines are everywhere. Protect yourself and others by calling 811 to have underground utility lines marked at no charge before digging. Hitting a line accidentally can result in fines, utility outages, and even injury. So don't let digging begin without a call or click to 811.
I'm attorney Keeman Astapulo. I've been practicing law in South Carolina for over 30 years. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call our office now.
Don't scream, call Akeem.
Dial all twos now.
To get your attorney, dial all twos.
A smile, such a simple gesture, an effortless contraction of muscles, a flash of teeth. Healthy smiles have the power to spread joy, courage, and love. When you smile, it transforms you and the world around you. So if you feel the urge, go ahead and use that simple gesture to spread joy. Keep your smile healthy and strong. Choose Delta Dental, protecting more smiles than anyone.
Welcome back this morning to Awareness. Right now I'm joined by Irmo Mayor Hardy King. Thank you for being here, Mayor. Good to see you.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the posting on Facebook that you made a couple weeks ago, a month or two ago. In your words, what was that posting? We have some video, by the way, of it.
You know, I have a Facebook page. In fact, I have a couple of them. And people will post stuff on there. Sometimes it's very conservative, supportive. Sometimes it's very liberal type stuff. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you sit down and more of it's one way or the other. And you kind of get tired of seeing some of the stuff. I think there had been a lot of stuff on there that day that had to do more with bashing conservatives, supporting liberals. And then somebody had shared some posts that I also shared off of my news feed onto my timeline. Mm-hmm. That had to do with the Muslim, had to do with the illegal aliens, and those type of things. You know, some people viewed that as negative. Some people view that, as positive, actually. But in truth, you know, it's controversial.
Right. And mostly it was a posting, it was mentioning different conflicts, whether it was terror or anything else, and attributing that to Muslims. They were all attributed to people of the Muslim faith in that community. So tell me why did you do that? What were your intentions at the time?
It's hard to know exactly what anybody's intention is. The same thing for me to know what mine are. Sometimes I'm aggravated, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm political. But if I see a lot of stuff come across my news feed and then something comes along that's like, here, gotcha. You know, you may post that and say, stick this in your bonnet and or whatever, pipe and smoke it. So I'm sure some of it came from that intention. But you know, the reaction is kind of like Joe Penner gets on the news at night and says, hey, it's going to rain all day tomorrow. I may let him go, great, I don't have to water my lawn, and I'm happy. Other people look at it and go, I'm going to the beach. I'm not happy. So it can be viewed either way. The facts are what the facts are, and the news is and the weather is what the weather is, but how you perceive that sometimes. And in today's society, we perceive stuff based on their political backings and influence and stuff.
So you described yourself. You say you're not anti-Muslim or anything like that. So in the posting, would you say it was mostly retaliatory and maybe not an idea that you actually ascribe to?
Well, I am not anti-Muslim. I'm a man of faith. There's a lot of people of faith in different faiths. We don't all agree on all the particulars. But I do believe sometimes that when you're an elected official, if I hadn't been the mayor and I'd posted the same stuff, nobody would say a word. So to me, that tells me it's not what's posting that's important, it's what the person posting. It's like kill the messenger. We don't care about the message. So it is a political thing. The good thing is that God uses all things to His glory and to His benefit and His good. So Chaudhry picked up the phone and called me, and we spoke. I had probably an hour-long conversation with a young man that was a Muslim that was actually in California, and told me that he had some friends that wanted to talk to him. I said, sure, have him call. So Chaudhry did, and invited me to the mosque and that kind of stuff.
There have been some things you've been doing since all this happened to just educate yourself and learn more about the Muslim faith and community, and we're definitely going to talk about that. But before we get there, I want to ask you, there was some, I guess, backlash in Irmo from your community on the Irmo Town Council. How did you deal with all that?
There was some backlash from a council member. There really wasn't a lot of backlash from individuals. There was from some, but they're also the same ones that backlashed about us telling people had to cut the grass and can't park in the yard and that. We also told them last year, the year before, they couldn't have chickens in the backyard. So it's still the same group of people that, I won't just say, are not happy with council or the majority of the votes. But so that kind of comes with the course. It's an opportunity for them. They used it for their benefit, and that's what it was. But again, good can come out of a lot of stuff. And after talking to Chaudhry and the other gentleman, you know, is there a misunderstanding of what terrorism and Muslim and the Islam faith? I think there is. And I think that's what is trying to be accomplished here, is to try to educate people on not all Muslims are terrorists.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so now since all this happened, you have taken some steps to learn more and educate yourself and almost kind of immerse yourself in the community a bit, the Muslim faith and community, and you're actually hosting an event on August 30th, and that event is called Demystifying Islam, Understanding Your Muslim Neighbors. And I understand you went to a Ramadan celebration, and you said that was the most welcome you've ever felt anywhere in a while. So.
Yeah. In fact, my comment was I don't think I could have gone to a family reunion that I hadn't been to in 20 years and be more welcome.
Right.
In fact, I had asked Chaudhry and a few other people, are you sure some of these people you're introducing me to have read those Facebook pages? Because they were very accommodating, very nice, very friendly.
All right, so let's take a break here. We're going to be joined by some interfaith leaders in the community who you've been talking to and working with, and we'll have that part of the conversation when we come back.
I'm Pat McWhirter. Michael was injured on the job.
My attorney at McWhirter, Bellinger & Associates was so wonderful. I couldn't have asked for anyone better. I couldn't have asked for more help. From the very beginning, McWhirter, Bellinger & Associates lifted a lot of stress off me. They want to help, and they will get you the help that you need.
McWhirter, Bellinger & Associates. It won't cost you anything to see if we can help.
To new lower prices and weekly sale prices too, like fresh Angus boneless top sirloin steak for $4.77 a pound.
We gotta step up to the plate. Okay, look. Not here to push my products, Bill. I'm just here to offer you a solution.
Restart your day at Bojangles. Bojangles' delicious breakfast biscuits are served all day, so you can restart your day anytime. Get 2 country ham biscuits for $3.
Larry, thanks for cleaning my car. It's been a hard day. It's Bo time.
Roomy interior, huh? There's even a third row in this love Mitsubishi Outlander. I mean, we're talking about a car with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. The most affordable 7-passenger CUV on the market. And it's a top safety pick for the 4th year in a row. All for under $22,000. Who else can offer that?
You want to sit up front?
Nah, I'm used to being behind big guys.
Welcome back this morning. Our panel has grown. I'm now joined by Chaudhry Sadiq, President of the South Carolina Peace and Integration Council of North America and President of Masjid Nur Uhuda, a well-known local mosque. This is Cheryl Nail. She's a Community Relations Director of the Columbia Jewish Federation and Vice Chair of South Carolina Interfaith Partners. And this is Dr. Adrian Byrd on the end, President of South Carolina Interfaith Partners. And all of you have gotten to know Mayor King very well recently. All right, so let's talk about this event coming up. It's called Demystifying Islam, Understanding Your Muslim Neighbors. Chaudhry, tell us what that is and what people can expect from this event.
Indeed, I believe there's always an occasion that, God brings about, and it is a beautiful opportunity for us. Many of our neighbors would not know, like some of our neighbors, like Mayor King mentioned, he didn't know any Muslims. Mm-hmm. There are some who do not know much about Islam. So it's like creating awareness and education. And we're going to talk about some very interesting things, like, for example, some people would know who is Allah, whether Allah is the God of some people of the desert, right? What is Quran, who Prophet Muhammad is, mm-hmm. right? Why do Muslims pray and how they pray and what did it mean for them? So besides these basic but essential things, and also add, many people will wonder how Islam or Muslims treat or consider other prophets. What is the status of other prophets or all prophets in Islam? Such things. But besides these essential, like foundation stuff, there's going to be critical discussion on terrorism. What people consider, because people somehow try to equate Islam with violence, right? The truth is exactly the opposite. Mm-hmm. So they will learn, and we will have a very candid and cool and frank discussion about what's happening around the world in terrorism and how Muslims themselves are suffering from it. So all in all, it will be a very interesting, in fact, and total wholesome discussion.
Mayor King, what's it been like for you? You've attended mosque at this point. You went to a Ramadan celebration. You've made some friends of the Muslim faith. What's it been like for you getting to know Chaudhry and other people in that community?
It's been very good. He is a very peaceful man. He's a very welcoming man. And so were the others at the mosque that I met that day. We got to eat and talk and converse and stuff, and met a lot of good people there. So it was a very wonderful experience for me, and being welcomed too by others.
Definitely. Of course, you're a conservative Christian, as you've said. Cheryl, tell me more about why it's important to have people of different faiths and religions and backgrounds coming together more like this to learn about each other.
Sure. Well, if we're going to have peace in our community, whether that's in Irmo or really just about anywhere else in the world, we have to have interfaith cooperation, and we have to work toward interfaith harmony. We've seen time and time again how religion can divide us, but most of those divisions are caused by misunderstandings. So, we don't have to all agree on the same thing. We don't have to all believe the same thing. But we do have to respect each other, and that means respecting each other's differences. And the only way we can do that is to have conversation. Mm-hmm. By talking with somebody of a different faith, you recognize similarities that maybe you didn't realize that you had. When you identify those differences, it's through conversation that you begin to understand and eventually respect those differences and even come to celebrate them. And that's why the work that Interfaith Partners of South Carolina does and this event that we're having on August 30th is so important.
Dr. Byrd, tell us about the stat of the interfaith movement in South Carolina. It's largely a conservative Christian community and state we live in, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes between people of different faiths.
Absolutely, Leland. Yes, the interfaith movement is alive and well in this state. The United States is generally recognized to be the most religiously diverse nation in the entire world. And certainly South Carolina is no exception to that, and sometimes we overlook that. Mm-hmm. But to say that we are a state of many faiths, in some ways, is just a statement of fact. What it doesn't tell us is how well we get on with one another. And I think that's the more interesting and challenging question. And so the Interfaith Partners of South Carolina, along with other grassroots interfaith movements around the state, work hard to try to raise awareness, promote opportunities for education, deconstruct some of those misunderstandings and stereotypes that can be so harmful. And it's in those encounters, those opportunities to become more broad-minded, that we can start to construct something more peaceable, something strong in our diverse communities.
Mayor King, how did you become so open so quickly after what happened to learning more about the Muslim faith and others in that community?
Probably one of the first things that happened, Mary Kennerly came by to visit with me and share her concern about what was happening because of the news that was in the media out there. And a good friend of mine who is a school board member, Larry Haltwanger, called and talked and kind of shared some concerns that people that he knew were discussing, which hit something in my head, I guess you say, that that was perceived in a different way than what I thought it would be perceived, so to speak. And then a young man,
yes, I'll talk about him a little bit further, yes.
Gave me a call, and we had a probably hour-long conversation. And he wasn't upset, he wasn't angry, he was concerned, and he just, I guess his attitude made me think, I listened to him, and just a lot of his conversation made me think I need to rethink, so to speak, which started the ball.
All right.
And I can, open-minded. Leland, if you like, I can build on that,
Well, we have 2 minutes here.
So, all right, sir. So I can do it in 60, okay?
Yes.
Go ahead.
But I want to ask you, Mayor King is certainly not unique. There are a lot of people, black and white, from all different backgrounds who can see terrorism and who can see how sometimes Muslim people in that community is portrayed. And how do they get beyond what they can see, what's so readily in front of them, to get to know actual people and the faith, as Mayor King has done?
Absolutely. This is an occasion, I would say the best proof, would be proof in the pudding, is when they come and attend the event. We ask and we invite all listeners and audience who are listening and hearing to come and attend, because that is why we call it demystifying Islam. In fact, the truth is nothing of the sort. Islam basically means, the root word is peace, all about peace. And the Muslims are those who adhere to peace. So really, how do we prove it? There is absolutely abundant evidence, and the best thing is to come and witness it. So Islam values life. And the one basic verse, very prominent verse in the Quran is, if someone killed or took a life without any due reason, it is as if he or she has killed the whole of humanity. And vice versa, conversely speaking, if someone saved a life, it is as if someone saved the whole of humanity. That's the truth.
And that's like the basis of the religion.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very interesting.
Sure. I might add that for the last several years, the governor of South Carolina has proclaimed January in the state to be Interfaith Harmony Month, and we are the only state that acknowledges such a thing. So that's an example of the way that, examples like the event that we're doing this next week. Interfaith movement is vibrant right here on our doorsteps.
And it's just so important to having a vibrant community and a harmonious community as well. Well, let's pop up the details one more time. There's a flyer we have to show you. Again, it's called Demystifying Islam, Understanding Your Muslim Neighbors. And give me the details on where it's happening. I can't see that far away.
It's at the Irmo Municipal Building, right behind our town hall, on the corner of College Street and Woodrow Street.
Okay, and day and time?
August the 30th, and from 6 to 8 is the actual event, but we're going to be there around 5:30 handing
yes,
materials.
That first segment, 30 minutes, will be important because it is doors open then, and there's a lot on display about Islam and Muslims that people can really come and ask questions and so on. Besides that, there is going to be a question-answer session during the panel discussion.
All right, that Q&A will certainly be interesting and educational, and the public is invited, so you're encouraged to attend. Thank you all for being here this morning. Great to be with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back here on Awareness.
When I received the diagnosis, I knew at that exact moment, whatever it takes, wherever I have to go, I'm beating this. My main focus was to find a team of doctors that work together.
When a patient comes to CTCA, they're meeting a team of physicians that specialize in the management of cancer.
Breast cancer treatment is continuing to evolve, and I would say that CTCA is definitely on the cusp of those changes.
Patients can be overwhelmed. We really focus on taking the time with each individual patient so that they can choose the treatment appropriate for them.
The care that CTCA brings is the kind of care I've always wanted for my patients. Being able to spend time with them, have a whole team to look after them is fantastic.
I empower women with choices. And it's not just picking a surgeon, it's picking the care team and feeling secure where you are.
Surround yourself with a team of breast cancer experts at Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Visit cancercenter.com/breast. Appointments available now.
Alabama got it right when they thanked American workers who work a 40-hour week for a living just to send it on down the line. Whether you're a trucker, a construction worker, a waitress, or a mechanic, your hard work drives our economy. And if you've been seriously hurt on the job, it's tough on you when you can't do the work you love. You work hard for all of us. If you've been hurt on the job, let us work hard for you. Just call Joy. 771-3100.
No matter what size your label says, Men's Warehouse has you covered. It's time to take your style to the next level and create the perfect fit. It's time to like the way you look.
WIS Skyview, sponsored by Great Southern Homes. Live green, live smart.
Welcome back. Real quickly, want to say a thank you to everyone who joined me today, including Mayor Hardy King of Irmo. It certainly takes a lot to admit you did something wrong, come on TV and talk about it, but also take the steps you've taken to fix it. So I hope what you've done and what you're doing is an example for a lot of people out there who might find themselves in a similar place. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you.
You have a good day.
And that's all we have this morning on WIS Awareness. Again, Demystifying Islam, Understanding Your Muslim Neighbor, 5:30 to 8 p.m. August 30th at the Irmo Municipal Building. That's 7300 Woodrow Street. Until next time, have a great rest of your morning.
All right, who did you call?